evening, everybody. Welcome to a bit of a special Chimp Sessions this evening, one which I've been struggling to write or wanting to write in the last week or two. My activity on here has been a bit quiet for personal reasons since Christmas, but I thought, given where we are with our global pandemic, I would climb in the back of the monkey bus and put some thoughts down this evening. And going forward, I'll try and do a couple every week now. We've got a few planned. So this one's special because today a very special guy, close friend, and a genuinely pure human heart lost his battle with life and left us behind. And left me questioning everything. His name was Liban. He was 32, patriotically from Somaliland, and a constant source of humor and ridicule. I was white chocolate, and he was grumpy black Santa. I will show you the kind of relationship we had, and I can't believe he's gone. And what I'm feeling right now, I guess, is a concoction of numbness and shock and anger, fear, humility, I guess, vulnerability, and sadness. And I guess the point of me bearing all of this now is I fully expect, and I guess as soon as I heard of Lee's passing, it dawned on me, because in the coming weeks and months, someone you know is going to go through this same thing. And we're going to be reaching for our phones to share the same story and sense of loss, I guess. These are unprecedented times, as we all keep hearing. But I'm not really sure we've been hearing it and understanding it. It's being more like a constant noise that we just want to quieten down. It's irritating, and it's not okay. We are not okay at the moment. And I guess I live in Coventry, and not since bombs rained down on our family trees 80 years ago have we needed to wake up and take part in effectively like a resistance movement for our lives, and for those of our kids and our families and loved ones, and the older generation especially, who many of them would have remembered those days 80 years ago when there was an actual tangible reach out and touch it war going on. And despite my melancholy, I'm not a doomsday guy. Anyone who knows me kind of comes from me to lift their spirits and give some context on how they're going to be okay. It's I'm a twat, and people use that for their own gain. But even today, I'm struggling with that. And together I wanted to deal with some different themes and generate a little bit of dialogue, I guess, triggered by Lee's passing, probably for me, on this whole crisis. So whether or not, as I do, you have an opinion on where this started and why it started, in terms of the virus and how it got to us, it's to some extent it's irrelevant, because it's here and it's serious and it's putting up a pretty good fight, let's face it, against our smug asses. The statistics are baffling, as are the reports which kind of are becoming a bit of an obsession. Not out of choice, I guess, but in our social media drunk consciousness. But there's a few facts, really. However fit and healthy your immune system might be, you're basically a survivor, which means that you may have had some symptoms and not noticed, or got past it somehow because you're used to man flu. Or B, you're a carrier, and you could be A and also B if you'd had it and not known. And in a few cases, you may never know that you're a carrier. I guess it's this 5-day rule type of thing. And unwittingly, you could be taking that really shitty baton in a relay race and giving it to someone who could ill afford it. Or you're C, you're a victim, and you get punched in the tits with it. Or as Lee is testament to, you're dead. That's it. It's a sad reality, and it's unless you have your own Liban to mourn, I don't think enough people are going to get it. And all of the above is maybe just words, and you'll crack on as A until you become B, and maybe even C. And look, this is not an attempt at being fear porn. I hope to God none of you get it, that none of you are touched by it, and it all disappears up its own arse as quickly as it arrived. But in the meantime, my friends who are politicians and doctors and frontline staff and paramedics, they're reporting different stuff from the front line, and we will be ignorant not to listen to that, which kind of brings me to my next point, because we're 2 weeks late, grossly underprepared. When you have to ask manufacturing companies to turn, like, this is wartime effort shit, where to stop what you're doing, gin factory, can you make hand sanitizer? Stop what you're doing, mechanical engineering company, can you make some ventilators? Because we're, completely ill prepared. Yet, all of that with this narrative, this arrogant narrative that we've done the best planning and execution in Europe, and we should win a prize for waiting till the last minute. I don't get it, and I'm not picking a side, incidentally. It is what it is. But anyway, I wanted to raise there was a lot of hate for people in parks at the weekend, and I don't hate people in parks, nor do I hate people riding the tube to go and see their mom on Mother's Day. I get it, and here's 2 reasons why. So we're human. We're creatures of social habits, comfort zones, kind of adverse to change. We're squishy. We're looking for a source of happy to balance the rat race, I guess. Otherwise, dreary parts of our life that we just feel we've got to do. And we take solace in other people's companies doing that. We've bred at least 2 generations of people who kind of drink from the open bar of consumerism, and they kind of thought that they should think and look and act a certain way, play a certain way, fight, dance, a certain way, believe certain things, financially wanking your working life into, I guess, financial instruments that, produce debt and overall material gain. And as long as you're happy, then it's cool. Just keep doing that. And there's winners and the losers, but you're a winner. And climb over the next guy. And I guess one thing that this is doing is it's leveling the playing field, because this tiny thing that we can't smell or touch or taste doesn't give a shit really what iPhone you have or whether you've been to the south of France this year. It really doesn't. This is the humbling machine. So that was the. I get why people were doing what they always did, in spite of maybe what the internet was telling them was going on in China, because they don't live in China. And what's more, we've all been so battered by years of a really arduous series of political storms in recent years. The Brexit, 3 prime ministers, resignations, a general election, local elections, refugees. We're just tired, and there's no trust in what seems like this ephemeral, archaic system of governing. Say one thing, do another. It's all bullshit in the end, because anything that you want to vote for, there's normally an argument as to why you should have. There are winners and losers, I guess, but the balance of power classically is just a source of chatter, isn't it? Something to talk about on the tube. And we're all a little bit more connected now. We're all a little bit more aware, I'd like to say, yet more ignorant than we've ever been. And everybody's, all the sheeple, they're all asleep and warm. So you can have your opinion, and you can stand at your podium and tell people to go home. But you're going to face some challenges in doing that with that sort of background. I liken it to a supply teacher coming in and trying to get any sort of order from a group of 14-year-olds who don't give a shit that you were there. That sounds like a you problem. He needs help. Old BJ, he needs to get off the telly. It was, you're a renowned liar, elitist kind of demigod in some people's opinions, and you don't represent the interests of the people you've just told to clear off and go home. Imagine if you can't go home. Imagine if your home life is the reason you're out. What then? And there's enough of those people. So it's they're the reasons. So we can I think we can shout and roar and go, oh my God, it's so selfish, and look at those people having a barbecue, which probably does take the piss a little bit. I mean, hold it down. But getting to the countryside and escaping to breathe in some air with people, or even just sitting for 1 minute and catching your breath because you no longer got to do the rat race. I keep talking about London because I worry about London. It's coming in for an interesting couple of weeks, I think. But I think what needs to be reinstated is at a grassroots level, some sense of oneness, one local community, one shitty mess, one goal. Come together as one, because I know only this evening there are companies that are still open and trading, non-critical companies. I'm not going to name names, but they're open because they're desperate to mop up the last bit of cash before they close. And these are big blue chip companies. I'm not talking about, you know, a sunbed shop trying to make his living. These employ thousands of people. Still trading, you know, just to get it back in before the end of the financial year. There's already internet scams. Scamming people out of the funding that they can get if they're destitute. You know, give us your bank details. We'll sort you out. I'm struggling processing that sort of thing. They're NHS workers, key frontline workers police, firemen, having their houses and cars robbed because people know that they're otherwise engaged. Yeah. I'm struggling to process a lot of things at the moment. It's bollocks because we're all witnessing it. We're all witnesses to it. And that's why we need to come together as well. And there's lots of good shit happening. In fact, I want to probably finish on this because I think so much creativity is going to come out of this whole thing. I think a lot of positivity is going to come out. I actually see some light out of it. It sounds really odd. I see streets getting to know each other, invent creative ways to reach out without physically being able to reach out. I mean, whoever gave a shit about their neighbor 6 doors down? I'm the same. I don't know them, but I do now. And we have all the mechanisms to do that. You know, it's the little corner shop that's winning over the grocers because people have bought the shit out of the big shops. So it's only the little shops left. Like, support your own. Why should that be a really harsh lesson to have to go and sort? Kids seeing more time with their parents, engaging with their parents. I love that. Going out and exercising as a group because it's the only way you're going to get out of the house. Brilliant. You should have been doing that anyway. People are forced with kind of life-threatening to basically start over and prove their humanity and their creativity and their spirit and their tenacity. And, you know, my friend Liban, he had a massive smile, kind of to match his massive heart. And he was a storyteller, and he knew how to change your mood, you know, with kindness and especially comedy. He was a massive twat. That's probably why we were friends. And I know that he will be giving everything right now, everything, to ensure that those within his reach were okay. He'd be putting himself out there, family or not. And still, we're here and we're doing less than that. And when this is kind of over, I want a different view of humanity. I want us to be fucking wiser and experienced and a more humble humanity. You know, it's in the weeks coming we are going to engage more on here in more positivity sessions because I think it's required. The band was always a massive supporter of this monkey bus. And I hope in a weird way he sees this. Because I'm going to ask him to haunt any prick during this crisis, he would do that gladly. So nominations, to send them in. Lee, I can't believe you're gone. It's really not sinking in at all. And I pray that your journey from here was sweet, man. Like your weird ass Diet Coke flavors. And we'll come see the spot where you were late today, because in this madness we couldn't go to your funeral. Love you, Black Santa. I urge people just to get their shit together, basically. I'm not saying live under the stairs. I'm saying just think, come together, hunker down, go out if you need to go out, but within the limits of what you've been told to do. It's I saw the local police had to break up a barbecue today, 20 people. Yeah, we're going to be okay. Of course we're going to be okay. This is a thing, and we beat things by applying some logic to them. This is not bigger than us, but it is bigger than some people, and we need to understand how small we are in the greater scheme of things. That's it. It's 22 minutes and 15 seconds of buzzkill. So yeah, Jim Sessions is coming back. Any topics that people are already sending in to me to talk about, love to do that. Anxiety is a big thing right now. I honestly believe that anxiety is affecting more people than the bloody virus. And there's simple things we can do just to help. So that's it. Speak to you soon. Peace.